Hello beautiful people, it's Mai here from Nintendo Life, and today we're reviewing Pokemon Pokopia's first DLC of the expansion pass, Bubbly Basin, on the Nintendo Switch 2. This review was originally written by me, and made into a video by, oh, would you guess it? Me. Now, without further ado, let's get stuck in. It's safe to say that since its release, Pokopia has taken over my life to a certain degree. I've explored the skies, made pals with my favourite Pokemon, and even made a certain coastal town a little less bleak. I've even caused chaos and instated town politics with my friend on our Cloud Island with very little building involved. Even after completing the stories and 100+ hours of playtime, I still have plenty to do. Which is why when the expansion including Bubbly Basin was announced, I felt a wave of overwhelm heading right towards me. Oh dear, another town, another grind, and another dive into my already drained creative pool. Suffice it to say, my apprehension quickly turned into pure joy as I plunged headfirst into part 1 of Pokopia's DLC. Starting is incredibly straightforward. Much like the usual in-game events, you'll get a message pop up on screen telling you to head over to Bleak Beach to have a chat with Professor Tangrowth. Turns out, an island has just appeared out of nowhere, and seeing as the professor isn't exactly an Olympic swimmer, it's your job to check it out. I wasn't quite sure what to expect. Were we just getting this little island and some way to venture underwater and willy-nilly? Well, one thing's for sure, I was not expecting Manaphy sunbathing with a hankering for seaweed. So I fed my little mythical pal, and in return was introduced with the DLC's main ability, Dive. I had some concerns that it might take a while before making it to the main chunk of this DLC due to the endless fetch quests I went through in the main story, but thankfully the introduction is pleasantly short. With my companion Popplio by my side, I was ready to paddle over to my new town. My nerves and fear of burnout quickly washed away. The architecture of the submerged Cerulean City, my favourite Pokemon town by the way, felt far less claustrophobic and more vast than any other towns I've been to in the game. Blissfully decorated with a large square, some broken down buildings, caves, tunnels, and let's not forget the islands above. When I say the world is your cloister, I'm not joking. I don't know if it's because I'm usually a water trainer or because I grew up next to the ocean, but as soon as I saw this town, I felt right at home. I could see the possibility of what I would build and felt so free being able to navigate the town as I seamlessly glided through the water. Finally, no more frantically tapping the jump button. It's surfing and diving all the way, baby. Much like my swimming, everything began to move progressively more quickly as I met more Pokemon, built new habitats, unlocked more requests, and discovered more of the mysteries of the town. Usually I'd be bogged down by the grind, however Bubbly Basin manages to stay balanced whilst also moving the story forward with very few blockades or traversing back and forth to the other towns. This is where a very specific item comes into play, which thankfully is included in the free 2.0.0 update. With the portal pod, you can access your storage from other towns or areas, granted there is a matching pod. Combining that with a craft table beside it and you've got an excellent quality of life feature. At the moment I only have the 2 pods available in Bubbly Basin, but I have plans to dot more across the different towns in order to set up my ultimate storage solution. What truly pulled me in was the extra whimsy. These are simple water mechanics like items freely floating, the buoyancy of broken blocks, the ability to simply float while building, and the bubble helmet appearing over you when changing into different forms. Oh, the whimsy has me in a chokehold, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Pokopia has an excellent way of feeding your needs regardless if you're an OG Pokemon fan craving nostalgia or a cozy gamer hungry for more materials for another beautiful build. I'm happy to say I fit in both categories, and although I'm not usually the type of gamer to time travel or strategize my playthrough for maximum output, I did, for the sake of this review, partake in some temporal manipulation. Even with time traveling, this DLC is still a good length, but not so long that you want to give up entirely. To each their own, but this time I have to admit it's helped me feel less burnt out and more motivated to actually build. Speaking of buildings, this town introduces new kits, blocks, and items which fit perfectly in Bubbly Basin and beyond. I personally love the Dugong clock tower I placed in the town centre, which chimes every hour, and the ability to have floating houses thanks to buoyant blocks. Although building is generally easier underwater, I found that broken blocks would often get in the way due to the sheer volume floating around the camera. It's not usually a massive issue if my inventory was full, but not all items have to float. It's basic physics, right? I also had some curiosity and concerns regarding which Pokemon could live in this town. My assumption was that only aquatic Pokemon could survive here, but after a mini experiment, I soon discovered that some could reside either above the sea or in some non-submerged caves. I won't spoil the result of all of my experiments because that's what Pokopia is all about, discovering new habitats, lore, and what you can build if your imagination is vast enough. But I suppose the big question is this worth the money? I've been in two minds with this. Until the other two DLC parts are released late 2026 and 2027 respectively, the cost for just one town for now, and all the extras that come with it, does feel very steep. If there was an option to buy Bubbly Basin as a standalone DLC at a lower price point, I would 100% recommend splashing the cash. Saying that, my time with it so far has filled my cup and made me love Pokopia all over again. Considering I still have so much to do with my other towns and Bubbly Basin, I'm happy for now. The Pokopia expansion pass is off to a solid start with Bubbly Basin, with much needed quality of life improvements, new Pokemon to find, and a refreshing new map to explore. If you've already completed the other towns, or even if you haven't, Bubbly Basin offers something else to quench your thirst. In Bubbly Basin, life is the bubbles. Take it from me. We here at Nintendo Life give Pokemon Pokopia the Bubbly Basin DLC an 8 out of 10. And I suppose it's time for my thoughts again. A bit of an odd one, I know, because I wrote the review for this and I'm doing the video review, but I do have a few other things I would like to say that I didn't include in the review. God, how many times do I need to say review? Considering I still have a heck of a lot of things to do in my other towns, like actually build it up properly, make it look nice, get some more inspiration on social media or Reddit or just in general other places, and, you know, get my life in order in the other towns, I'm genuinely excited to properly get creative and stuck in with the Bubbly Basin DLC and the surroundings and the town, because for some reason, as soon as I came into this little map, I felt like I wasn't suffocated anymore. All the other towns, Skylands included, I just feel like I was just kind of stuck to what was given to me. Whereas with this, you have the little lands below, you've got the little caves in the darkness, and you can build above the water, which I feel like is incredibly freeing. I've also been anticipating to see which Pokemon are available in this DLC, and so far I'm really happy with who I have found so far, and some of them have actually been quite pleasantly surprised. Like, for example, I was very surprised to see Wiglet show up for some reason. I don't know why it surprised me so much. I also had some little bit of worries of thinking, okay, yeah, we have these tiny little caved areas where the Pokemon Center is to bring non-aquatic marine life Pokemon to live and to build things, and other things like, oh no, how am I going to use a furnace to burn stuff? Well, I found a Pokemon and they were able to burn things in the furnace, which really made me happy. Another thing that I didn't get to mention in the review because time and words and all that jazz is the use of the smoothies. They're really, really great. So in order to actually use your upgraded version of Surf underwater, you've got to make smoothies using the watermelons, and yeah, I've been really having a lot of fun with those and maybe mixing them up with some sea grapes. I haven't mixed them up with any of the vegetables that are found in the other towns, but that's gonna be my next plan when I jump on tonight, which I'm genuinely excited to try and like just experiment with all the things I could find within the DLC. I also believe that aesthetically this is the nicest town yet. There's something about swimming around in the dark in the night and just seeing the lights glow. It just feels a whole lot more magical than all the other towns I've been to. I've also experienced some pretty adorable things. I've included it in the video and I'm gonna include it now, and you probably see it on the screen right now, is some really cute things. Like, I found Mudkip sleeping inside the submarine house in the mouth of the Sharpedo house, and it was just the cutest thing ever, and I felt like the whole time I was playing this DLC that I was grinning from ear to ear and just easily being amused by certain things I would find. Like the water mechanics, I still can't get over the physics of the buoyancy of the items, just seeing the cloth floating, you know, just carelessly in the water, which you would do. Yeah, I am genuinely really pleased with the outcome of Bubbly Basin. And it really makes me excited to see what part 3's town is going to include, because yes, we're getting another town in part 3. I'm really excited to see if it's going to be one-upping it this time, and also what potential events could happen in this as well. We've already had Sableye and Jirachi with the other in-game events, so I'm really excited to see if they will potentially include any underwater events for those who did not buy the DLC and just have the free update. Oh, very, very excited I am. Even though I believe I have finished the entirety of the DLC, you know, based on the other towns and according to the set building blocks of each story within that, I am still hoping that I find more afterwards. There's still a few more Pokemon that I am trying to find, more habitats to unlock, so we'll see. We'll see what's more to come, especially with more updates, free and otherwise, to see what's going to be included. Let's just say that I'm still discovering stuff, and I am bound to make this my proper home for sure.